Deep Threat Sports Network fans, we are back again tonight. We told you last night we'd be back on a Tuesday, Wednesday night special this week. We're getting in early here for our preview episode, our Book It segment. It's going to come at you early this week. We want to get out there, get ahead of everybody else, and get the ball rolling quickly. We like some of these lines early on, hoping to get things locked up real early. Tonight, Nolan, Bryant, myself, and we are going to break things down all the way. You know how we do it here. A lot of top 25 matchups again, some high-level matchups. And then we have like 7 games on our quickie segment. So we're going to try to roll this thing pretty quickly because we have so much to cover. And it's a damn good week if we got 7 games on our quickie segment on a preview episode. We cannot wait to dive into this with you guys tonight. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, alerting, telling your friends, telling your family. Last night was good, man. We had a lot of live, unique views right away on the episode. Want to get some more comments in here. Tell us what you're thinking as you're watching along with this. Make sure you're joining along, leaving comments, even if you watch the episodes back on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. We will get to all your comments. I promise you that. Nolan, Bryant, let me ask you guys this real quick. One of you go first. I don't care which one. What game are you looking forward to most this weekend outside of Mizzou, Alabama?
Brian, I'll let you go first.
Honestly, I'm interested to see, this Oklahoma-Texas game is not the game we probably thought it would have been to begin the season, but I'm kind of intrigued to see how the backup quarterback for Oklahoma plays and then how Arch Manning can respond after such a bad week last week and see what happens.
Hey, as a wise man once said, not so fast. John Mateer, there is rumors that he might play in this football game, Brian.
Well, if you watched Brent Venables' post-game or after-practice press conference today, he is not going to play.
Oh, did that come out just now?
No, it's not official, but he's like, if my quarterback was practicing, if I'm playing quarterback, he's going to practice. John Mateer is not practicing. There's your answer.
It's a tactic to throw him off. He dressed out. He warmed up for the last game.
Yeah, he was on the field before the last game, throwing the ball around.
Well, maybe I'm just falling for the coach speak a little bit, but
I think you're falling for it.
Play. Well, if he does play, then that makes it even better.
People hate on Hawkins a lot. I don't think he's that bad. I mean, I think he's okay. He's a really good backup quarterback. I mean, I know he's a backup, but he's really good at what he does, I feel like, and he's mobile. Nolan, what game are you looking forward to the most?
The Indiana-Oregon game. I'm interested to see if Indiana is for real, because if they are, we're going to find out real quick.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see just how good Oregon is, how Colin talked about last night. We argue about the top 25 a little bit. I was arguing for Oregon last week ahead of Miami. We'll see exactly what goes on this week.
I think I'm with you on that football game too. What I think would be impressive is if Indiana does win this football game, I think it shakes the Big Ten up a ton. I think that is something that most people are not expecting to happen. I'll be honest with you. I'm one that thinks Oregon has their way. So we'll see how this thing shakes out as well. But I'm with you on the Indiana-Oregon game. Fellas, before we get into the games, I think we can get through them fairly quick. Let's have one small conversation about what's going on in North Carolina. There is a ton of conversation and a ton of – I don't think it's really rumors. I think it's pretty factual information that Belichick and North Carolina are kind of exercising maybe the buyout option on a mutual parting of ways. And it is ugly, ugly, ugly for the University of North Carolina football program right now, fellas. This is really, really bad stuff. And one thing that I think makes it even worse, and Nolan, you pointed this out before we came on here, but to add on to your point, which Nolan's point was, this is all happening after the 4-game redshirt option. You're literally ruining these kids' eligibility. And to build on that some more is, I don't think there's been a lot of guys on that team play well enough to necessarily go transfer out of North Carolina and get a good job elsewhere. And I think it really puts all of these kids behind the 8 ball on what they can do at the college level.
Yes. And that's my biggest gripe with it is I understand he's talking about a soft landing. It's in the contract about a $1 million buyout. If Belichick wants out, that's all North Carolina has to pay, all well and good. But if you think there's even a iota of a chance that you're going to do this during the season, just don't even take the job. Don't ruin the season for all these kids, first of all. Second, don't do it after the red shirt thing. Third, I don't know if you guys saw this or not. They're talking about changing the coach being fired rule. It's not going into effect this year, but if your coach gets fired, it used to be a 30-day free reign. People can jump in the portal. You can contact whoever you want, this and that. They're changing it starting next year, and it is going to be the head coach gets fired, sure, but until the new coach has been hired and named, nobody can jump in the portal. Nobody can be tampered with. And there's a 15-day window from new head coach being hired to the end of free reign of everything. So I think it's just
that's horseshit that goes through.
ridiculous.
If a coach can leave, a player can leave. That's horseshit.
Yeah.
Bryant, what do you got on this?
There's another caveat to this, boys, you didn't mention, but I'm going to get to in a second. But first, some quotes from some UNC staff members on his staff. One UNC defensive assistant said, "What we've done to these kids is effed up." So that's right along with what you said. Another coach said, "The rats are leaving the ship." That is pretty bad. But the caveat I'm going to mention is apparently there's some serious recruiting violations that have happened under Belichick at UNC, and UNC is self-reporting them. And apparently, if you can self-report them, it knocks down a coach's buyout significantly. So I'm going to be on the lookout to see if maybe UNC may not even have to pay a whole lot of anything to kick him to the curb.
Listen, man.
And apparently Belichick has been extremely distant, and the conversations have been really weird between the two parties too. So a very intriguing situation to monitor. And I didn't really expect it. I know the season wasn't going like they hoped it would go, but man, this is wild.
Yes.
Listen, man, when this hire came out, this network was talking about how bad it was going to go. And this is worse, actually, than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it'd be like the players were quitting on the staff and stuff. It sounds like the coaches quit on the players and just never even actually really got started. Like they just – you thought you were going to come in and run it like an NFL, and that's just not how it's going to work, man. These are young kids that need help. They need coaching. They need led in the right direction. This is a really vulnerable state in their lives and careers that you have to lead young men the right direction. And Belichick, you have failed miserably, man. Everybody out there that knows me, and those of you that follow our show that don't know me, know I'm a massive Tom Brady fan. And Belichick without Tom Brady has had no success in his career. So, I mean, I'm just going to throw that out there now. So maybe there was more to that than what people thought. So, But yeah, that was just the headline today going on in college football. Nothing crazy, I guess. But North Carolina's in a world of shit. There ain't no doubt about that. Anything else, fellas, before we move on to our main game preview we got going on?
Let's roll.
Sir. I'm ready for it.
All right, fellas. Well, let's get right into this thing. And the first game that we are going to talk about tonight on the episode for the main game preview is Ohio State at Illinois. This game is Saturday the 11th at 11 a.m. on Fox. Ohio State minus 14.5, over under 50.5. Hey, these lines might be a little bit different than what they have on our screen right here. They shuffle around quite a bit. Like we said, every episode now, hey, shop the books, buy the hooks. These things are going to look different depending on what site you go to. Nolan, what are you looking at in this Ohio State-Illinois football game?
Number one thing I'm looking for, Illinois likes to play a lot of man coverage on the back end. I don't think it's going to go well if they're really trying to play just straight up man coverage. You have Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate that you got to try and figure out. I don't know how it's going to work. They do play a little bit of zone. I think you're going to have to break some zone out in this game. You're going to have to get a couple zone blitz. You got to throw Julian Sayin off is kind of the big key of this game. You can't just let him stand back there. He's completing at 80% right now. It's going to be a long day for Illinois if they cannot get home on Julian Sayin.
There's no way Illinois runs man coverage defense this week. If they do, they're nuts. Like with the
That's what Notre Dame did last year. They said, we don't care. We're running man.
With the injuries on the back half of Illinois' defense, though, and
they got some of them back this week.
And what we just saw Minnesota try to man up on Ohio State last week, and what happened? Man, there ain't no way. Bryant, what do you got?
I see some people around the country calling this a trap game for Ohio State. I do not see that whatsoever. I don't even know why that's a conversation. It's definitely a game they should pay attention to, but this is not a trap game. On the Ohio State side, they've been doing it all. They only have given up 25 points on the season total in 5 games. Elite defensive play from them. This, I think, is probably the best quarterback they've seen. But Illinois does not have a run game. If Illinois is going to have a chance in this game, they're going to have to be a little bit multifaceted on the offensive side of the ball instead of just putting it all in Altmaier's hands. He's played really good this season, but Illinois is putting him under a lot of pressure. They're not guarding pass rush whatsoever, and he's having to make plays. And he's doing it thus far. I just don't see it in this game. On the offensive side of the ball for Ohio State, I think they're going to have their way. They can run the ball well. Obviously, we know they can pass, and they got studs all over the field. I think they're going to go up and down the field in this game. Personally, I think Ohio State handles this one pretty easily.
Yeah, I'm with pretty well everything you guys said, no doubt. I think one thing for me, too, is I need to see Illinois convert on third downs a whole lot more. They're only converting at 38.5% of the time. That's not good. That's not how you have success against Ohio State. You need to have some long, sustaining drives to try to lean on their defense a little bit because their defense is number one in points per game right now, allowing only 5 points per game. Like, there is a real case that this Ohio State defense is actually better than they were last year, which is crazy to even think about. But, dude, you add Caleb Downs, get him another year in this defense. We talked about him all offseason, and this defense is really just jiving, man. They've got it figured out. Things are going great for them. I think one thing, too, is I got to see somebody step up besides Hank Beatty for this Illinois receiving corps. I mean, Ohio State has the guys like Caleb Downs, for example, to take away Illinois' best offensive player. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to bracket cover him. They're going to remove him from the equation. I know we see Altmaier playing at an elite level, 12 touchdowns, no interceptions. But I think this is really one where Ohio State's defense is going to absolutely give them fits. And Bryant, you hit the nail on the head too. Illinois has less than 0 run game, man. It is not good. This is not a recipe for success at all. Illinois' defense scares me to high heaven. They gave up 27 to Purdue, 32 to an injured USC, 63 to Indiana. I just don't see it. And coming into the season, I was one that said, hey, I'm going to take Illinois' win total over. And look, man, this is not good. I don't think this is not a good matchup at all for them. I think they're an okay football team. I think they can win quite a few games, but this is truly where they're outmatched in every level of the game. And I didn't even get into Ohio State's offense. I don't need to. If you watch college football and you watch our show, that means you probably watch college football. You know Ohio State's offense. And it is weapon after weapon. Like, no one mentioned Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith, but we didn't really even get into the Max Clare and the Brandon Ennis and the stable of running backs. This is just
Bo Jackson's really turning it on lately.
Yeah, man, this is a really good football team, arguably the best in the country. Illinois at home, that helps. That's all I got, man. That's all I got in a good way for Illinois. It's a home game.
Yeah, Ohio State's just so good that it's boring sometimes to watch them. That
I think they don't get the
credit that they maybe deserve. How I said at the beginning of the episode, I was arguing for Oregon over Miami. Maybe I should have been arguing for Ohio State over Miami. They're so good, it's boring to watch them sometimes that you just kind of look at the score. You're like, yeah, I could see them beating Illinois by more than 14.5. Name whoever it is. I can see them beating whoever by more than 10, more than 15. It's just insane how good they are this year.
Yeah, if Illinois had some semblance of a run game, I think this would be a different story, but they just don't. So Ohio State's going to key in on the pass, and that's your ball game right there. I mean, Illinois, the only way I see them even getting close in this game is if they have like 200 plus on the ground and are still able to somehow throw it and be balanced, and I just don't see it. So I'm right there with you all. I think this is a horrible matchup for them against an elite football team.
I'm also with Nolan in the sense, too, like, I'll be honest, fellas, I can't say I don't find myself watching Ohio State football. I don't find myself watching Ohio State football live. I go back and rewatch a lot of their games because I don't need to watch it. Like you just said, Nolan, like, okay, they dicked around with Minnesota in the first quarter. It was kind of low scoring, a feeling out process. And then it was just like, bam, we're going to beat the shit out of them. It's over. Like they play with their food for like 10 minutes. And then they're just like, okay, we're going to run you right off the field. And that's what they do. So I think it happens here again. I really do. I do. Anything else in this football game? No? Okay, the next football game that we are going to talk about here on the preview is Indiana at Oregon. This game is Saturday the 11th, 2:30 p.m. on CBS. Oregon minus 7.5, over under 55.5. Bryant, what are you looking for? What do you think Indiana needs to do to be around in this football game?
Fellas, I think this is a pretty evenly matched football game, honestly. Both teams are playing pretty well. I think Indiana's going to have to keep it up on the passing side of their offense to have a chance, which they've been very elite at thus far. Surratt's a great receiver. Mendoza's been playing great at quarterback. He's all that they wanted him in a transfer. But I think Oregon's going to key in on that because Indiana also struggles to run the football as well. So look for that on that side of the ball for Indiana and Oregon's defense. Oregon's going to need to get some pressure on Mendoza and make him make plays because they haven't been really doing that well this season. They're not an overly stat padding team on the defensive side of the ball as far as sacks and pressures and TFL is concerned. So look for them to try to make that happen in this game. On the offensive side of the ball for Oregon and defense for Indiana, Oregon is a football team on the offensive side of the ball. Dante Moore and those guys do not make mistakes. They don't turn the ball over. They do not get penalized whatsoever, hardly at all. So look to see that continue in this game. Can Indiana disrupt that? They have in pretty much every game they played this season against other opponents. Their defensive line is really, really good, in my opinion. So will they do that in this game? It's one to see, but they're going to have to because Oregon's offenses seem like a fine-tuned machine already this season, even though we're only going into week 6.
Yeah, 100%. Nolan?
I'm really looking at the Ducks defensive lineman, Mateo Ugalele. I think he's going to have a big game. I think if he really gets home on Mendoza, I think it's game over. There's no shot that Indiana is going to stay in the game. Now, Mendoza is a little bit more mobile than Rourke was last year. Rourke, after all of his injuries that he had in college, was a little less mobile. So Mendoza can maybe get out of it a little bit, help him out on some of those broken plays, make something happen. I'm not sure that they're going to do enough to neutralize his pass rush in this game because Indiana's tackle that they're putting up against him, I'm not sure he's that great. I was telling Colin before we went live tonight, I found a couple all 22 copies on YouTube to watch, and I mean, they're constantly chipping with a back. They're constantly chipping with a tight end on that side of the ball. And coincidentally, that's the side of the ball he's lining up on. So we'll see what happens in that. But then on the Oregon side of the football, I need the wide receiver 2 to show up here. DeCorian Moore has bailed them out more times than I can count this year. He's just like their easy button. If you guys remember the Staples commercial, that as soon as they get in trouble, it's DeCorian Moore, DeCorian Moore, DeCorian Moore. We need to figure out who their wide receiver 2 is and figure it out fast because I would love to make the argument that they're the best team in college football, but until I can see the wide receiver 2 kind of step up, just like we were talking about Ohio State, I'm not sure I can truly make a wholehearted argument for the number 1 team going to the Ducks then.
Do you think I think they have options, but I think they have to step up. Like Gary Bryant, I like what I see at times. Malik Benson, I like. He needs to be more of a big-time player. I feel like he lacks it when the moment shines bright, to be honest with you. But I think they have the talent, and Kenyon Sadiq, to me, is clearly your number 2. I mean, actually, he's not your number 1. And then DeCorian Moore is your number 2. So he's always my X factor when I watch Oregon play football because I think he is as legit as it gets. But to Brian's point, to back him up on this is 100% an even matchup. If you look statistically, this is 2 top 10 offenses points per game, 2 top 10 defenses points per game. You got both quarterbacks playing at Heisman level so far. Both teams pretty balanced on the offense. Both teams convert at a high level on third down, over 50%. So they statistically are pretty evenly matched football teams. But I think there is a pretty wide gap, more so on each team's defense than offense per se. Because I think Omar Cooper and Elijah Surratt are really good receivers. I think they're a really good 1-2 punch from Mendoza, and I think it works. It's working really well right now. But I think where the difference lies is I think Oregon's defense is marginally better than Indiana's defense, and I think it's where you're going to see the gap in this football game and where you're going to be able to see Oregon kind of lean on them a little bit and get things going, especially late in the football game. I think a massive X factor for Indiana is cornerback D'Angelo Pons. We didn't see him play last week. Everybody knows that I've been raving about him since the offseason. I think he's one of the best man cover cornerbacks in the country. And I think if he's back and healthy in this football game, which they're expecting, I believe, what I read today, that is a huge get back for them. I think he is a guy that could potentially kind of take out DeCorian more on his own and then try to let the defense figure everything else out for Indiana. But it's got to come from somebody other than him, right? They got to get some pass rush going. They got to make Dante Moore a little uncomfortable because Oregon is a hell of a tough place to play. And I think they could give them fits all night long if they get things going early. I don't think Indiana could have a chance.
I think, like you guys said, statistically it might be a close game. I'm not sure how many people you talk to think this is really going to be a close game.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Vegas line here. We're 7.5. I mean, if you're telling me that you're a touchdown better, I'm not sure how close it's really going to be.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that at all.
The only other caveat to that is they're playing at Oregon. So typically Vegas will give, from what I've done my research on, Vegas will give a 3-point swing one way or the other. So if you're playing at a neutral site, they're thinking it's like a 4.5-point game. Maybe it's going to be closer than I think. I think Oregon's going to take control early, and I think they're going to just basically shove it down Indiana's throat in this game.
Yeah, and you see that 3 points at like really good environments like Oregon. Obviously you go play at Missouri State, they're not going to give you 3 points for home field at Missouri State.
Give you 7 there.
Yeah. But yeah, we have a comment coming too from Ron. Hey, Ron, thanks for joining us tonight. It said Ducks win big. We're with you on that one. You'll probably see that come back up later. We think the Ducks win big as well. And I just love what Dante Moore does, man. It's the more and more show. They take what the defense gives you, and I like it, man. I also think this is a battle of two really good head coaches, and the winner of this game is a virtual lock in the playoffs.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Anything else on this game, fellas? No? Okay. The next football game that we're going to dive into is Oklahoma at Texas. This game Saturday the 11th, 2:30 p.m. on ABC. Texas was -3 when we made all this up. I think that line has shifted all the way to like Oklahoma -1, I believe. It's kind of floating around right now. Over, under 42.5. Fellas, this game is all over the place. Who's playing quarterback for Oklahoma? What is Texas doing on offense? I mean, we could legitimately talk about this game for the next 30 minutes. So, Bryant, tell me what you're looking for here, Oklahoma, Texas, and what do you think these teams got to do to win a football game?
We got a neutral site game. They're playing at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, which is typical. I think not many people think this game is in Austin. It's not, but it's really not far up the road from them. Going to be a fun game. Like I mentioned earlier, I think we all thought this was going to be one of the best matchups of the season. It's not quite living up to that due to injuries on Oklahoma's side with Mateer, and then Arch Manning not playing like we and some people thought he would play. But it's looking like Arch. I mentioned it earlier. I guess I fell for the coach speak. I think Mateer is questionable right now, so it looks like he may play. But if he doesn't, can Hawkins keep the boat afloat for this game, which I think he's a serviceable backup. I'm not really too worried about there. But I think the key to this game is the defensive side of the ball for both teams. They've both been playing pretty well. They're going to lean on their respective defenses to keep them in the game. And who's ever more effective through the air on the offensive side of the ball, I think is going to win. I think the run games are going to be slowed down for Oklahoma and Texas by the other team's defenses. And so whoever's going to be able to move the ball down the field with the pass is going to win this football game. Looking to see how Arch Manning plays. He's got to make an adjustment at some point. Sark's got to get him going. He's got to give him some easy stuff early to get him a little bit more confidence, because I think his confidence is next to zero right now. So we'll see if he can do that in this game. But this is a heated rivalry. It's going to be a fun game to watch nonetheless. So I'm excited to see how this game goes. It's a crapshoot.
Yeah, hey, here, if you're with us real quick, too, make sure you're liking, subscribing. Hey, get some comments in here. Talk about these games. Talk about what you're looking forward to. Tell us that you think my take's dumb as hell, or Bryant's, or Nolan's. Tell us that you align with us. Tell us what you think if you're joining with us. Nolan, what else you got in this football game, too, man?
I want to start by pushing back on Bryant here a little bit.
Oh,
I know Arch Manning hasn't played great this year, but I'm really not sure he's actually the problem. Again, I told you guys I watched some all-22 copy.
Don't fall into this trap.
No, I watched some of the all-22 copy. It's their left guard, dude. They cannot block out of that left guard position. The center's immediately looking to help the left guard. The left tackle's immediately looking to help the left guard, and they're just giving up their assignment. So then the right guard has to figure out what the hell the center's doing. Left tackle has no idea what he's doing, trying to play two positions. If they could just get somebody, I'm not asking for good. I'm asking for average. If you can get an average left guard in there, I think some of their problems would be fixed. By no means do I think Arch Manning is a Heisman candidate. Don't get me wrong on that. But I'm not sure he is the full problem. I will also put some of this on Sark, because if you see your left guard is struggling that bad, and if I can see it in an all 22 copy, I guarantee they can see it. If you see you struggling that bad, you got to get him out of the pocket. You got to get him moving. Let Arch take some rollouts, take a bootleg, whatever it is. I don't care. But you got to move the pocket so you can get the defensive line off balance at least a little bit. Give yourself a half a second. And then I think that's going to open up, like we were talking about last night, some of their intermediate routes. Give me a between 3 and 10 yard downfield throw. Give me a nice, easy slant, a nice, easy over, run some kind of mesh concept. I don't care. But just get somebody in a wide open space between 3 and 10 yards down the field, get the pocket moving, and let Arch not have 5 dudes in his face within 2 seconds. It is ridiculous what they are doing to set up Arch Manning. Again, please don't take this as I think Arch is a Heisman candidate.
Oh, no.
Looks broken at the moment. But
I'm hearing that you think he's a Heisman guy now.
No. He kind of looks broken at the moment with his throwing motion. Like I said last night, he looks like Phillip Rivers shot putting the ball out there. And if they can't get anything going on offense, it's going to be a long day. I would love to take my victory lap ahead of time if I thought Oklahoma was just going to blow them out of the water. I don't think I can take a victory lap. This is going to be a closer game than we thought. The only other thing, I miss the old days when it was like a 70-point line, 60-point line for the Oklahoma-Texas game, and we're seeing like a 42-40 shootout. Those are way more fun to watch than a 40-45-point game total combined. It's just, I like defense, but I want to see somebody score the ball.
Hey, these teams came into the SEC, man, and lost their Big 12 ways. It's an over-under at 42.5 now. Quite a few comments came in here. Let's get caught up on those real quick. Mike comes in and says, I haven't seen enough from Texas and Arch to believe they can beat OU. I'm with you. Next comment from Mike as well. A lot of the best QBs have struggled in the beginning of their careers. I wouldn't give up on him yet. I don't think we're necessarily giving up on him in his career yet, but I'm kind of mailing it in right now on this season a little bit that this is more of a learning curve and it's time to grow. And I think what hurts him so much, dude, is all the commercials he's in. He's in more commercials than most celebrities. He had the top Heisman expectations. They had national championship aspirations. The fans wanted him over Quinn Ewers last year. I mean, do I need to keep going? His last name's Manning. I mean, we talked about it in the offseason, man. When you're so high up here, there's only one direction you really can go unless you do go win the Heisman and national championship. And it doesn't look like either one of those things are going to happen. So it's not great. It's not going to – I mean, we talk about it every episode. We talk about Texas. Quinn Ewers got benched last year for a breather. It may need to happen again here. And it helped Quinn Ewers, and he was fine. So I'm not mailing it on here yet.
2 more comments on what Mike just said.
Yeah.
I saw somebody in the New York Times write that Arch is a flop and they're writing off his entire career. Don't do that. Do what Mike says. Just don't give up on him yet. Let him struggle through it a little bit.
It's patience. And I'm going to get into more, too, of what I think can help Arch once we get caught up on these comments. Ron liked the Phillip Rivers shot put comment. Thought it was funny. Arch is certainly not a Heisman candidate, but I don't think I'd bench him yet. Okay, a breather wouldn't hurt. And I think everyone has Arch fatigue because that's all we've heard about for 3 years. 100%. That's exactly what this is. That is 100% what this is. And, dude, the media is so negative that as soon as they can get a little bit of blood in the water, dude, it's like a herd of sharks coming in, and they just feast. And if they can feast on a Manning, they're going to feast. That's exactly what they're doing. We're trying to keep it realistic here. We're just telling you what we don't see him doing. Like they're feasting on the name and his career. I mean, we're just trying to say what he's not doing. But what's also not helping him is, like Nolan said, they have no offensive line. And I don't think it's going to be good in this football game because Oklahoma's front seven is really damn good. And they're allowing less than 10 points per game on that defense. So they're not going to have any help in this football game. And also what kills Texas is, dude, they don't have a run game. They don't have a run game like at all. It's abysmal. Like Arch Manning is your leading rusher with 160 yards. You've played 5 football games, and your leading rusher is your quarterback with 160 yards on the ground. That is not helping when your quarterback struggles. these receivers don't get any separation. We think on this network, at least I know Brian and myself too, I think no one's with us, that Ryan Wingo's a good receiver. But that's it. Like you see Livingstone every once in a while having an explosive play if they can get it, but they get hurt. Yeah, he did get banged up in the last football game. But these guys get no separation, man. It doesn't help. All that factors into the Arch Manning situation. And it's just not looking good there right now. I'm not saying it can't get good. And to your point, Nolan, you fix the offensive line and you get the right play calls in and you get some quick hitting plays from the quarterback rather than trying to be explosive every time because you know you just have nothing working. I think all those things will help. But this is 100% a must-win for Texas more than it is Oklahoma, in my opinion. And I'm gonna take a wild take on this. I was actually driving home today, and I was thinking about this. My wild take on this is, if you're Brent Venables, why would you play John Mateer in this football game? Because if you lose with Michael Hawkins, you can stand on the gas pedal to the committee and to the media and everybody else later in the season that, hey, we lost that Texas game because we had our backup quarterback. Yeah. Look what we've done since John Mateers came in. Like, if he's not 100%, why do it?
That was partly the reason why I think. That was part of the reason why I think he was being serious a little bit.
Yeah, and you're only a 3-point dog with your backup quarterback, and you know Texas is reeling right now, and you trust your defense. Brent Venables is going to give Arch Manning, who's already struggling, like we said, nothing but exotic looks, dude. These blitzes are going to be coming from every direction. Brent Venables loves when he sees a quarterback struggling because he just makes their life a living hell. So I don't think they need to play John Mateer in this football game, fellas. I think they can win without him.
You want a bold prediction here?
That Oklahoma might break 60 rushing yards in a game too themselves because they suck at running the ball too?
I think Oklahoma's going to start slow, and Mateer's going to come in midway through second quarter or so and lead them back.
Good God, could you imagine that story?
Can you do that, though?
About John Mateer fatigue too.
You could be listed as questionable/probable, and you could play later on in the game. You just can't be listed as out.
I see. That makes sense.
This is just like you guys said, this isn't the 80-point football game anymore. This is a battle of top 10 defenses, and they're going to give a backup quarterback and a struggling quarterback fits. And I think it comes, if Mateer doesn't play, it's going to truly come down to which offensive-minded Brent Venables is not the offensive mind. What comes down to the Arbuckle, the OC for Oklahoma, and what Sarkisian can draw for Texas. Who can get their quarterback in a better situation and make some quick hitting plays, and which team can find a damn run game, because neither one of them have it.
And if you're Texas, you got to make an adjustment, man. Like what you've been doing is not working.
It's not working.
I think you can argue Texas is probably one of the deepest teams in the country as far as depth's concerned. If that left guard is trash, kick it with the curb. They got 2 5-stars probably in the wings. Wait, you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing?
They had one go down and scream.
They lost 2 tackles before the season started, so I will give them a little bit of credit on that they lost their 2 starting tackles. So I think they're a little bit thinner than you would really want to be on the offensive line, but at the same time, like you said, they've been killing recruiting.
Yeah.
I complained about it last night with Florida State. If you got somebody waiting to play, throw them in there, because I guarantee it can't be worse than what they're doing right now.
That's right, dude. You're taking 3 guys to block one guy the guard's supposed to cover up when he comes in, and then you're leaving the other 2 on an island to go heads up on every play.
Like that shit you do in FCS. Like those guys struggle and they got to do it. This is Texas. Like you got to have a guy that's serviceable somewhere.
Yep.
You know.
And if you're this thin on the offensive line, which I do believe they are, then hey man, kind of shame on you, dude. This is the portal era, and you're Texas, and you got money. Shame on you. I know you didn't plan on 2 injuries, but once you did kind of have those injuries, like, get a plan together, man. Like, you want to be strong in the trenches, and this is the SEC, and welcome to it, man. This isn't the Big 12 where you're just going to be a little bit bigger and stronger and faster than the other guys when you're Texas. Like, this is – you kind of did it to yourself at this point.
Yeah.
Anything else on this football game? It'll be an entertaining game to watch if you like some defense, I think.
Yep.
It might get pretty ugly, and you might ask yourself, am I really watching the Oklahoma-Texas football game right now? You might ask yourself that question once or twice. So prepare for that. Anything else? All right, fellas. Well, this is the last main game preview that we have. And of course, we feel like we saved the best for last. And we're going to go ahead and let no one go first on this one. Alabama at Mizzou, Saturday the 11th at 11 a.m. on ABC. Alabama -3, over under 51.5. No one, tell us what Mizzou has to do to win, and tell us what Alabama has to do to win this football game.
Mizzou's got to figure out a way to run the ball, same as they have been every other game. If they can get Ahmad Hardy, I'm not asking for 100. I'm going to be greedy here. I need 150, and I need like 2 touchdowns. That's how you're going to win this game, because Alabama will score points. Mizzou's defense is good, but Alabama's offense will score points.
Yeah.
Their wide receivers are entirely too good if you cannot get home on a pass rush for you to man up or just cover straight up, and Ty Simpson looks great. So I need Ahmad Hardy, 150 and 2 minimum. Alabama side of the ball, you just got to protect, because I think the Alabama offense, like I said, they're going to score points. Their run game is starting to come alive with Jam Miller. It's not great, but it's starting to come alive. If you can just – I'm going to be less greedy on this one. If you can get me 70 yards out of Jam Miller running the ball, just enough to keep the Mizzou defense honest, and they're not, just kind of throwing people in coverage to figure out how to cover everybody, then you're confusing Ty Simpson a little bit. That's got to be the way that Alabama wins the game, is you got to be a little more balanced. You got to keep running the ball and just let your receivers do the work.
Bryant, let's you and I kind of bounce back and forth here with one another on this football game a little bit, because this is arguably one of the biggest games in Mizzou, arguably history, and the situation and the implications on it at this point. I mean, obviously, beating A&M to go to the SEC championship a couple of years ago, quite a few years ago now. Quite a few years ago now at this point. But this is a big football game especially for Mizzou fans. So what I think is a good recipe for Mizzou in this football game is Bama really struggles to defend the run, and some mobile quarterbacks. Mizzou can do those things. Where Mizzou struggles on defense is defending the deep ball and the receivers. And Alabama, what are they good at? Throwing deep balls, having explosive plays, hitting the deep middle shots, the deep out shots. That is where, like no one said, the front seven has got to get home. And I think like what we saw in that South Carolina football game is when Mizzou would rush only 4, Lenore Sellers could kind of get what he wanted deep. The plays would develop and he could get what he wanted deep. I know you kind of fear the Bama receivers, but you have to bring more than 4. You have to sacrifice that, understand that, hey, this is a ballsy move, but I'm trusting my linebackers and my linemen to get home. We're going to rush 5-6 guys at times. We have to. You have to. I don't know what you're thinking with that, Brian, but that is where my head goes to right away.
No, that's the key for sure on the defensive side of the ball for Mizzou. Granted, Zion Young and Damon Wilson, our defensive ends, have been getting home quite a bit. They're top 10 in the nation in QB pressures and the defensive line, defensive end stats that they rank them on. So, granted, we haven't been playing the greatest schedule, so that's part of it. But those guys are talented. They're not going to be able to rush 5 or 6 every time. No. They're going to have to get home with 4 for sure at times. I look to see them being able to do that. Hopefully, I think they can. They're more than capable of it. But I agree, they're going to have to stop the run, which they have all season. That's number one, and then force Alabama to pass the ball, which Alabama is good at. But making Ty Simpson get out of the pocket and move around a little bit and not be able to just sling it all over, I think is for sure the biggest key on the defensive side of the ball.
I think if you can just limit those explosive plays, like Colin said, make them throw it underneath.
You got to make them drive.
I truly think, like I said, Alabama's going to score points. Don't be afraid if Alabama scores points. But if you make them run like 12, 16 play drives, by all means, can you sustain it? Because almost nobody in college can. Can you sustain a 12 to 16 play drive, and can you beat me? Because if they do, pat them on the back. Great drive. But you got to make them throw underneath, and you got to make them earn it.
Mizzou loses like a 24-17 football game here. Mizzou has to make this like 33-30. Like, I mean, I think they're trying to get up because, to your point, dude, Bama's gonna score. But you have to go in with the mindset that obviously we just have to score more. We got a couple stops here or there would be great. We can't let them score on every drive, and we got to get ours too. Like, we're going into this with, we want the ball in our hands. We got to get ours too. And I think you are going to see, obviously, them lean on Hardy. But I think Mizzou has the receivers, because I haven't seen enough from Alabama's defense to tell me that I should be scared of that defense if I'm a Mizzou fan. I think you have to trust that Prbula can make the quick throws, take what the defense gives you. I think that's what he actually is good at. Take 5 yards on an out route, take 4 yards on an inside slide, take what they give you, and I think you can have success.
Yeah, and we know Kirby Moore, our offensive coordinator, is great at dialing up, plays that are strengths for his offense and weaknesses for the defense. So I think you're going to see a lot of Brett Norfleet this game at the tight end position getting open. I personally think Alabama is probably going to stop Hardy a little bit. I don't think he's going to have the game that we hope he will. If he does, great. Yeah. I think this game's going to fall into Bo's going to have to make some plays and have quite a bit of yards and some touchdowns through the air. And he's more than capable of doing that. We've seen him make crazy good throws this season, and the receivers have been playing very well. And they got a bunch of guys that can rotate in and out so they can be fresh. So I think that's going to be something to look for as well, is what can we dial up on offense, and can Bo throw the ball. And I think you're going to see him run the ball, whether it's designed or, kind of whether the play breaks down and gets going. I think you're going to see a lot of that too, and it's going to be needed. So I think Mizzou's offense is just as good as Alabama's. Definitely at the running, way better at the running. Not quite as good passing, but they're right there with them. So we'll see what we can do. This it's going to be a fun game.
I'm with you. I have Brett Norfleet down as my X factor in this football game. I think if you can get it to 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 6, that's where you see Norfleet kind of excel. Just go find the soft spot in the defense, set up in that, find the sticks, and sit on it. And I think you can get him the ball and trust him to fall forward for a first down. I think he is a big guy in this football game. I'm totally with you. I think if they win this football game, Hardy's going to have a lot to do with it, but I don't think it's because of him. I think it's going to come from the legs of Bo Prbula. I think it's going to come from somebody in that receiving corps stepping up consistently, finding Kevin Coleman for first downs. I think the Norfleet and Coleman combination at possession catches on getting first downs is two of the best in the business as a duo in college football. I trust those two guys to go do that. It's just Ty Simpson's playing at an elite level, and our secondary really scares me.
It's the battle of defensive weaknesses in this game.
It 100% is, dude. It is a strength versus weakness and a strength versus weakness. Legitimately.
Whoever can strap down a little bit, somewhat, is going to win this football game. Last thing I wanted to add is Caden Green. Yes. Yeah. He is questionable, but he is practicing with the first team this week. Really? So we'll see. It's looking kind of positive that he's going to play, but it's nothing set in stone.
That's really good, because I don't feel like this is an Alabama front seven that we've used to seeing in the past. And they do have some injuries up front. And if we can have a full-strength offensive line, and Charles is ranking right up there with some of the best linemen in the country right now, if you can get a push, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. And I'm with Mike's comment that comes in right here. Mike's comment says this is probably Mizzou's best shot to beat Bama since they joined the SEC. I agree with you. I don't think it's close.
Yeah, the closest line that this game's ever been that we played in the SEC was 12.5. So that's a point right there. With it being, it's actually, I think, down to 2.5 from 3.5. So it's going to be a fun game. Mizzou's offensive line is kind of actually shocked me a little bit this season, knock on wood. They played a lot better than I thought they were going to play. Thought they were going to be a weakness. We'll see if that can continue that, and getting Caden Green back hopefully in this game. If not this game, and the rest of the season is going to be really good for them.
This comment's funny. Ron comes in, I bet Bama, so Mizzou should cover. Dude,
thank you, Ron.
Keep doing that, buddy. Also, last thing in this game, Prbula does have a 3-game interception streak. I have that down. That's got to stop. Can't interceptions here. Game's over. It'll be a wrap. Anything else in this football game, fellas? This is going to be a banger, I think. Okay. Well, let's get into our quickie segment then. And the first one on the quickie segment is mine. This is USF at North Texas Friday. Tomorrow night, or no, this is Wednesday. We usually do Thursdays. Friday the 10th, 6:30 p.m. on ESPN2. USF -1 over under 67.5. If you want offense, this is your football game. This is two teams that, in my opinion, are making a true push to win the G5 award in the playoffs, and two really good football teams. This is a battle of really high-level quarterbacks that you don't usually see at the G5 level. Byron Brown, I think, is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the country. We've seen him put this team on his back multiple times, and he wills his team to victory. He is entertaining as hell to watch. So if you haven't watched the USF game, make sure you're watching this one. Also, Drew Mestamaker for North Texas. He's kind of more of a pure passer, and dude, he can dissect defenses. I like what I see from him. Watched quite a few North Texas football games. I remember a couple weeks ago we had North Texas, Washington State over. North Texas took care of it on their own, and this quarterback is the real damn deal, man. It's a very balanced attack from kind of both teams, but I'm really curious to see kind of how North Texas holds up on the lines a little bit, because I think USF has looked pretty good on the defensive front. So I want to see if North Texas matches up well in that aspect. I think this is going to be the toughest game they've played so far. Also, North Texas is the best team in the country in the red zone. So also, can USF get them stops in the red zone? North Texas is scoring touchdowns almost every single time. When they get there, they're finding ways to punch it in. So USF has to limit the North Texas explosive plays because that's what they thrive on. Make sure you watch this game. It's a Friday night. If you're at home, you have nothing better to do than to watch this football game. I'm telling you, this is going to be one of the most entertaining football games of the weekend, and I am looking really forward to this one. The next one on our quickie segment that we have is Michigan at USC, Saturday the 11th at 6:30 p.m. on NBC. USC -2.5, over under 57.5. Whoever this is, give it to us.
Yeah, Michigan's been quietly winning and not making many mistakes at all. Still don't think they're world beaters whatsoever, but they've been playing pretty good. They still don't have any weapons on the receiving core whatsoever. They're making drops like crazy, but Bryce Underwood's still winning football games. On the flip side, I think USC is the more talented teams, but they are making mistakes. They're one of the most penalized teams on offense. They have a ton of turnovers. So whoever's going to make the least amount of mistakes in this game, I think is going to win the football game. USC has to get home on Bryce Underwood and make him feel pressure. He's playing a lot better than you think a true freshman would. He's playing up to par with where he was recruited to be. So they got to make him feel the pressure and make plays, which teams really haven't been doing to him this season. And USC has been running the ball really well on offense. Maeva is playing really good at quarterback. Keep that rolling. Get the run game going. Keep it going like it has been. Be balanced. I think they'll be able to win this football game. But if it stays low scoring, which it seems like Michigan games tend to always do, I think it's going to favor them. So looking to see what happens. This one's going to be a fun matchup down there in Southern California.
Absolutely. Battle from quarterbacks. The team's kind of rallied under Underwood a little bit, and I like what I'm seeing out of Michigan, but I just don't like them. Arizona State at Utah, Saturday the 11th at 9:15 p.m. ESPN. Utah -5.5, over under 48.5. Nolan, tell us what you got.
Two things. Arizona State side of the ball is where we're going to start. Offense, I need to see a run game. I need to see somebody besides the Sam Levitt, Jordan Tyson combo to get me any type of yards, any type of points. If they can figure that out, they're a more complete team, a more dangerous team. And if they end up winning this game, they're in the driver's seat with Texas Tech for the Big 12 championship game, because the rest of their schedule ends up being pretty easy. They just got to make it through this game. They got to win. The defensive side of the ball, I think they should really look at what Texas Tech did to Utah and just mimic that exact game plan, because it was not close. That Texas Tech Utah game, the score looks like it was close. Texas Tech dominated the game. Just go completely mimic their game plan to shut down Dampier. The Utah side of the ball, again, I would go look at the Texas Tech game. What did they do? What can I do to beat that exact game plan? Because everybody moving forward has to take at least some bits, parts, pieces out of that Texas Tech defensive game plan. You just got to figure out how to beat it now. If you can, and you can beat all the other defenses that you've played so far as they're 4-1, you're going to be a dangerous team, and then you're in the driver's seat with Texas Tech for the Big 12 championship game. For the defense, it's basically the same thing I said about the Arizona State offense. We got to figure out how to stop the combo of Sam Levitt, Jordan Tyson. If you can do that, I'm not confident Arizona State has anybody else that can beat you. So it's kind of similar points for each side, but those are the big keys to the game on that one.
Absolutely. It is the Tyson and Levitt show every single week. The next game that we have on here for the quickie segment, Georgia at Auburn, Saturday the 11th, 6:30 p.m., ABC. Georgia -3.5, over under 46.5. Noam, this is yours as well.
I would just like to point out how big of a implication for the season game this is. First of all, Georgia loses this game, if they lose this game, I should say, they might be out of the playoffs completely at this point. If Auburn loses this game pretty handily, Hugh Freeze might be gone by Monday morning. There's a pretty big implication on this game.
Are you playing
If
golf
it's
like
a
he likes
close
to
game,
do?
I don't think anything's really going to happen. But Georgia side of the ball, we got to figure out which running back is not going to fumble and which one's going to get us some yards, because I'm not a big believer in their quarterback play at all. He's an average at best SEC quarterback. We got to get some type of run game going. For the defensive side of the ball in Georgia, let's get a pass rush, boys. Let's be the Georgia defense of the past 5 years. Let's get the defensive line in the backfield and cause some havoc. Moving to the Auburn side of the ball here, maybe more people were right about Jackson Arnold not being it. This is your time to prove us wrong right here. If you're going to do it at any point this season, save your coach's job, save face, save everything for yourself here, and just tear Georgia apart. Look like you know what's going on in the passing game. I'm not confident in it, but if you can do it, I mean, you got the athletes out there in the corners. You have the better receivers in the game. You just got to figure out how to give them the ball. And then for the Auburn defense, we got to figure out how to score a touchdown because, like I said, I'm not confident in the offense here. We need a special teams or a defensive touchdown to keep this game within striking range of Jackson Arnold just kind of running all over the field, making things happen. If you can get me a defensive touchdown, I think you got a shot. If you're not putting up any fight on defense and you can't give me no points, sorry, boys, but I think you're done.
Yeah, Hugh Freeze walking in on practice. All right, boys. Defensive keys this week. We have to score a touchdown.
Score a touchdown.
And multiple would be even better. We could get two, so it would be even better.
Watch him house like 2 pick sixes.
Well, speaking of teams that could use some defensive help for some touchdowns, we have South Carolina at LSU Saturday the 11th, 6:45 p.m. on SEC Network. LSU minus 8.5, over under 43.5. Look, I am not impressed with either one of these football teams right now. I'm not impressed with either one of these quarterbacks right now. What I am impressed with is the only unit that I'm impressed with that I'm going to talk about in this football game is LSU's defense. They've taken a massive step forward. They were a huge disadvantage for their team last year, and they got it right this year. They hit in the portal on all the guys they brought in. Blake Baker, you gave him a little bit of time, and he figured it out. Where I don't like LSU is offensively. They have no run game. I don't think that their receivers are doing all that great at this point. Nussmeier doesn't look like Nussmeier, and nothing works. And when you sprinkle in Brian Kelly, this is not a Brian Kelly podcast. When you sprinkle in Brian Kelly, it gets just a little bit worse. So I don't like what I'm seeing from LSU at all, except on the defense side of the ball. I think they can get to Sellers and make him uncomfortable and make things tough for him, especially down there at LSU and Death Valley. It's a hell of a tough place to play. So they're going to give him some fits. Now, on the South Carolina side of things, once again, I think we're all kind of bummed out with what we're seeing from Lenore Sellers a little bit. There is moments where you're like, okay, there's what I wanted to see from Lenore Sellers play in and play out. I know no one's wanting to say, hey, Nolan, you were right. He wants to hear me and Bryant say that so bad right now, but it's early yet. So he can right the ship a little bit and kind of get it right. But it doesn't help him either. Their offensive line struggles. They've got no run game, and the receivers get no separation either. They are explosive play or bust, and it comes from Lenore Sellers playing hero ball and getting out of the pocket and throwing it up, hoping that Nick Harbor just ran a 4.140 by somebody and got open. So I don't love much about either one of these football teams right now. I think it's a tough team either way for a get-right game, but it could be a get-right game for one of these two teams to come out of here with a massive win and be like, okay, we found a little bit of something, and we're going to keep rinsing and repeating that over and over and over, and maybe they can kind of get right. So this will be an entertaining football game, I think, and I'm looking forward to watching this one. The next
we have,
go ahead.
What do we have LSU on our rankings?
17 or 18 right now.
17 or 18. Yeah, that's probably about right because they're 11 on the AP. So,
yeah,
man,
if you remember last night, I think they're dropping out in the next couple of weeks. This is another one that I think has huge implications. Yeah, South Carolina goes to win. Is Brian Kelly gone?
No, but
that was massive.
You don't think?
It's too much money. But the conversation
talking about it.
The conversation will hit sixth gear. I promise you that, because they're not going to accept the South Carolina loss at home. I can promise you that.
If LSU wins, does South Carolina basically quit the rest of the season. They were all talking about how they're going to be one of the best SEC teams. We're making the playoff.
Have you seen that schedule moving
I was going
forward?
to say, I mentioned that schedules yesterday. Have you seen South Carolina's, dude?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're on
Let me
quit
pull
watch
that
if
up
they
real
lose
quick.
this game.
Let me pull it up real quick.
If the wheels fall, the wheels are almost off. But if they fall off right here and they're high centered,
so we got Oklahoma at home next week.
it's right the rest of the way.
We got Alabama at home the week after. And we got way at Ole Miss the week after that. Then we have a bye week. Thank the Lord above. And
Can't
then
lose
the week
that
after that, we have at A&M. And then we have Coastal Carolina. And then South Carolina or Clemson.
Okay.
I mean, that is it's tough.
I find a win still on that schedule after this one.
Colin, why did you bet them over 7.5?
I tried to talk you boys out of it.
It's still there. Don't give up. We had a comment.
We're going to run the table. I'm not worried about it.
Don't give up on Arch Manning. If we're not giving up on Arch Manning, I'm not giving up on Lenore Sellers yet.
See, the thing is, we've already seen Lenore Sellers. I already know what he is. We haven't seen Arch yet.
Yeah, he's a dog.
I've seen Arch for like 5 games now, and it ain't good.
No. I'm talking we haven't seen a full season like we've seen Lenore's.
He was banged up last year.
I already know what he is. He's a runner that happens to throw.
He's, once again, no run game, no offensive line. The receivers are average at best. Well, while we're talking about quarterbacks that we're upset with, let's go ahead and throw this one on the board. Florida at Texas A&M, Saturday the 11th at 6 p.m. ESPN, A&M minus 7.5, over under 46.5. Brian, tell us more about some good quarterback play, huh?
Yeah, that's one to talk about in this game. Marcel Reed's not bad, and DJ Lagway looked better last week, but still don't believe in what he's doing. He's going to have to try to build on what he did last week for sure. I'll start on Florida's defense. Boys, they've been keeping this team afloat. If they didn't have a really good defense, they would probably be 0-5 or 1-4 at best. Can they keep that up? I don't know what to key in on for that standpoint for them on this A&M offense because A&M's offense is so balanced. So it's going to be tough for them to kind of figure that out. But I trust them. They've been playing really well. On the offensive side of the ball for Florida, pretty dang good game last week, but they still made a bunch of mistakes. They got to keep the ball going to Jaden Ball, and they got to get Dallas Wilson involved like they did last week. And DJ Lagway has to make the plays he did in that game, continue them into this game for them to have a chance. On Texas A&M side, they started slow on offense, but they've been unreal in the second half. I don't really have many worries about their offensive side of the ball whatsoever. Marcel Reed is a serviceable quarterback. He can make plays with his legs, has 2 great receivers on the outside, and they have 2 great running backs as well that are in Le'Veon Moss is coming to the forefront for them at the running back position, and they've been playing really well. Defensive side of the football for A&M, also very balanced. They can cover, they can rush the passer as well, and they're good against the run. Just a very balanced team. 12th man down there in College Station is a tough place to play, just like the last game at LSU. So I think that bodes well for them. I don't think Florida is going to stay into this game, but it would be close because A&M always starts slow, and I think they'll do it again in this game. But it'll be a fun one to watch.
Hey, this comment rocks. We talked about this yesterday a little bit. Mike comes in. There is no better coach in the nation than Billy Napier when he's about to be fired. Dude, 100%. When his back's against the wall and his head's at the bottom of the guillotine, it's just like, we're going to win. Nobody panic. I'm going to win a football game. I'm going to do what I got to do right here. And it works. And credit to these guys from Florida, though. They play for Napier. I was really worried about them quitting and folding. They didn't do that. So
I don't see that win happening this weekend.
I thought me either, but yeah, looking back now,
it'll be close. Like I said, I think it'll be close. There's a reason it's such a low line, and A&M's only 7.5. Because, like I said, they start slow, but I think their balanced attack on both sides of the ball will come to fruition.
Nobody has really talked about. Yeah, may lose his head this weekend. He might. Nobody's talking about Billy Napier getting fired this week in the headlines. So it's time for him to lose. It'll be brought back up, and then next week they'll win. It's a cyclical situation. We talked about that last week on the preview show when we previewed the Florida Texas game. It's a cyclical situation, and we're dumb as hell for thinking that Texas was going to go beat them. We should have known that Napier was going to win that one. We should have known. Should have known that. I don't know. That was a layup, and we missed it. All right, the last game on our quickie segment before we get into the bookie segment is BYU at Arizona, Saturday the 11th, 7 p.m. on ESPN2. BYU minus 2.5, over under 47.5. Nolan, Bryant, whoever wants this one, give her hell.
I would like it here because we just talked about two terrible quarterback games. Let's talk about a good quarterback game here. We got Bear Bachmeier, the freshman, over 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, 1 pick on the season. Pretty good stats, especially from a freshman. And then Noah Fafita, we talked about it before the season. How's he going to look without Tet McMillan? Well, Boise's put up over 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns to 3 picks. We got some good quarterback play in it, and I'm not sure if that 47.5 line is really going to hold all that much as we're getting some good quarterback play here. So lots of points. We're going to see who's real in the Big 12 here. If you guys remember from last night, I think BYU is not real. I think they're a little bit of a fraud here based on the people they've played, and they've played them all close. We'll see who comes out on top here because this game, BYU actually has a share of the Big 12 lead right now. They start losing a couple, they're going to lose it fast. But Arizona with a win, they can jump right up there, share the Big 12 lead.
BYU needs to beat LJ Martin.
Yeah, for sure. This game has a lot. This game has got some big implications for the Big 12, like you mentioned. But to me, it just seems like BYU passes the eye test a little bit better than Arizona does. But like you mentioned, Nolan, their strength of record is really not as good as Arizona's is, and they kind of played some subpar competition and played them close, like you mentioned. So we'll see what they do going down to Arizona in an away game and playing away from Provost, and see how they do.
Bear Bachmeier has to have the best quarterback stats in the history of college football with the number 47, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he wears number 47 drives me absolutely batshit. I hate that. I hate it, dude. But the fact that he's throwing passes to his brother Tiger, that's incredible. We got a bear and a tiger on the field, dude. I don't know how they lose. I don't know how they lose a football game.
It's a fullback number.
Do you know they have another brother?
Yeah, what's his name? Cougar?
Hank. Normal name. Tiger, Bear, and Hank.
Didn't see Hank coming, dude.
His parents must have been on one when they're like, man, we went way too far. We got to bring it back in.
Dude, reel it back. Is Hank the holder? What does he do?
I don't know what Hank does. I just know they have a brother.
With a normal name like Hank, dude, he's got to be the punter, the holder, like something that's not instilling fear in a defense. That's awesome, dude. Like, could you imagine going, like, meeting the family? Like, hey, this is Bear, this is Tiger, and this is Hank. Did we not like Hank?
He's probably like left guard on field goal unit.
He apparently plays quarterback for Tulane.
What?
Was he?
Apparently.
He wasn't competing for the job.
He played college football for Boise State, Louisiana Tech, Wake Forest, and Tulane.
He's older.
Okay.
I guess. I'm looking him up as we speak.
so they had Hank, and he wasn't scary enough. So then they had Tiger, then they had Bear. Whatever. Hey, I think it's awesome names, dude. And with a name like Tiger and Bear, you have one option, and it's to play football and be good at it. So it worked out. It worked out. Okay, so that's the end of our quickie segment, our main game preview. All the games that we were going to cover wrapped up. Now what we're going to get into here is our book it / fade it segment, and we're very superstitious here, so no one's not going to make any picks. Mm-hmm. He came up last night and was like, fellas, I feel like we've been doing better since I've been staying out of it. So Nolan, take a back seat here. We'll still let you say book it, fade it, whatever you feel, but take a back seat here. Also, we're not going to play the money sound. We're superstitious. We've been doing better since it hasn't worked. Another thing, I forgot what my other thing was, but we're superstitious and we're not going to change anything that we've been doing. It's starting to heat up a little bit. I know we did go 6-7 last week. If anybody watched that Texas Tech game, the Texas Tech over was one of the worst beats of all time. It was an absolutely devastating not hit that would have put us at 7-6 on the week. But we're 30-35 on the season, and you know what we say here. Hey, shop the books, buy the hooks, baby. We are shopping everything we can to make this better for us. And if you're not shopping books and getting better lines, that's on you. If you're not buying hooks, that's on you. Definitely shop the books, buy the hooks. We looked into having hoodies made that said shop the books and buy the hooks. They were like $110 a pop. So if anybody wants to donate and buy them for us, let us know. I'll wear it 7 days a week, I promise you. And we will get them on the show for sure and sell them in the open market if anybody has any interest. But let's go ahead and get right into this thing here and talk about what our plays for the week are. The first one that we have is Ohio State minus 14.5 at Illinois. The first play for us on the week is Ohio State minus 14. Book it. Brian, go ahead. We can just alternate on this. When the alternating's working.
Hey, we got UCF at Cincinnati for the next one. Cincinnati's been playing really well. Let's look for them to continue that. We got Cincinnati at home minus 10. Let's book that.
Houston minus 14 at Oklahoma State. The play for us on this one, Houston minus 14. Fade it. Brian?
Indiana at Oregon. Man, the Hoosiers look really good this season, but so does Oregon. The Ducks are going to be on the pond, and they're going to be all over the place this game. Oregon minus 7.
Oklahoma at Texas. This is one that I really like, so this might be a faded play. Oklahoma at Texas, first half under 21.5. And you know what we said last week? You can't buy the hook on team totals or first half game totals. You got to play the hook. So under 21.5. I like that it's under, or it's a half point over that 21.5. Really makes it intriguing for me. Book it.
Next one, we got NC State at Notre Dame in South Bend. Notre Dame's been kind of playing with their food in recent weeks and not taking off and not covering. So we're going to take NC State to cover this game at plus 23 on the road. I think CJ Bailey could keep this game somewhat close.
CJ, big game Bailey, baby. Make it close for us. Book it. Northwestern at Penn State. This is another one that I really like right here. I don't think either one of these teams have a lick of offense. I don't think Drew Aller's worth a damn. So prove it to me, Drew. Beat me on the line this week. First half under 26.5. Love this play. Book it.
TCU at K-State is our next game. No defenses on either side of the ball. We're going to go over 55 in this game in the Little Apple, over 55.
I like that a lot, especially if what I really like is that we're taking it over in a Kansas State game, because what Kansas State's really good at is if they're up like 10, just go ahead and bet money that TCU is going to come back and at least tie and probably go win it and get some more points late in that football game. That's what K-State does really, really good this year is blow wins. The next play, Iowa at Wisconsin. We're going to play Iowa minus 3 in this football game. Book it.
Next one we have is San Jose State at Wyoming. Had snow on the field last week at Wyoming. It's a slow, methodical, nothing's going on in the games there in Cheyenne. So we're going to go with first half under 24.5.
Weather's always difficult at Wyoming. Makes it really interesting for teams to come in and play, especially San Jose State coming all the way to Wyoming. That's going to be a doozy for them, especially if there's a little bit of snow on the ground. I don't know if there's going to be or not. Didn't look at that. Georgia at Auburn. We're going to play Georgia minus 3. We just don't think Jackson Arnold can do anything right. We don't think Jackson Arnold can throw the football. The only thing he can do is run the football. And if Georgia puts like 6 spies on Jackson Arnold to run the football, they're going to win this football game handily. And they have to win this football game handily. Georgia minus 3. Book it. And matter of fact, we changed the spelling on Georgia this week. We changed it to Georgia. Georgia minus 3. Book it.
I was going to say we like them so much, we're going to go Georgia minus 3. Let's
Georgia
go.
minus 3.
We got South Carolina, Death Valley, LSU. Man, the offenses are going to come alive in this game. LSU is going to be able to run the ball. We're going to go over 43 in this football game on Saturday.
Hey, we told you guys we like good quarterback play. That's going to be a game with some good quarterback play. They're going to change things up. Hit that over, baby. The last play of the week for us, we had 13 plays this week, 13 plays last week. Like we said, whenever things aren't going great, spray the board, find it somewhere. East Carolina at Tulane. This game is actually Tulane minus 6 that we booked. This is not Tulane minus 7. This has got bought down. Shop the books here. We meant to make the change before we came on here, and I did not make the change. It is Tulane minus 6. Not minus 7. It's actually 6.5 by the hook. Make it 6. Book it. Fellas, this is a hell of a slate. I really like the Georgia.
One thing to add, that game is tomorrow.
Yeah, Friday tomorrow. Get that in.
Thursday night game.
Thursday night game. We're used to going on Thursday. This is a Thursday night game, Nolan. I don't know. That might be a game I'm going to have on a side screen because the Blues play tomorrow night, so I'm going to have them up side by side. But I think Tulane minus 6. Love it.
That was a late ad by the Sportsbook Insider here at Deep Threat Sports Network. So saw them like the line, so we went second on the bottom. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night.
That one was like a Bryant play only special, and if it hits, I liked it too. If it didn't hit, I don't know what Bryant was doing. I don't know. I don't know what Bryant was doing.
I'll take all the praise and all the blame.
Absolutely, baby. That's what we do. Hey, 30 and 35. We're looking to get right. We're hovering. We're scratching and clawing. We're the life raft was thrown out, and we're on it right now. And no one is currently blowing into the tube trying to keep us afloat. And hey, we're doing all right here, especially where we began. Things are starting to look better and better and better, and we're kind of finding our rhythm. But that is all we have on this episode. Hey, fun episode with you guys tonight. We had a couple good laughs, made some jokes out of a lot of things. It was a lot of fun. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we get out of here? Nope. All good?
Sure.
All right, fellas. Hey, go Tigers, baby. Go Georgia.
Baby.
Georgia and the Tigers.
Georgia and the Tigers. Hey, baby. This was a lot of fun. That's Nolan. That's Bryant. I'm Colin. You can follow us on YouTube, Deep Threat Sports, Apple Deep Threat Sports, Spotify Deep Threat Sports, XDT_sports_, Facebook Deep Threat Sports Network. Tell your friends, tell your family, like, subscribe, alert, everything. Do everything you can to keep promoting us. Like I said yesterday, we're over 100 subscribers now, and we're looking to keep this thing humming. And we really love giving you guys all this content and bringing you guys a lot of fun and joy to college football. Anything else you guys want to add, see us do, see us change, leave some comments. We'll get with you guys, and we'll answer all those. Hey, Nolan, Bryant, until next time, fellas. Peace.